Can't have been an easy week for anybody involved in Fleetwood Town. Clearly not what you would have hoped for when you came into the club in the first place. How's it been?
Yeah, look, it's like you said, it's not been an easy week for anyone, as you can imagine. Yeah, like you said, it's not exactly what I hoped for when I came in, but I think it was the position that the club was in when I first came in, and I think, you know, if you look back through the performances since I come in, but more importantly since the gaffers come in, there was a huge, you know, turn in performances and results, but unfortunately it wasn't enough in the end.
He said from pretty much coming in the door, Charlie Adam, that he wanted to try and take it to the final weekend and be in contention come the last week of April. You've got pretty close. Is there any consolation in how much you've managed to cut that gap and stay in contention for so long, or is the end outcome the main thing?
Yeah, I know. Like, look, the end outcome is everything, really. But I think you have to take the positives from it, and you have to be able to look forward. I think, like I said, when the new manager came in and the staff, like the performances, really showed that everyone was willing to die for the badge and for the team. And I think we saw that with performances. It's just the way it was meant to be. I think that this is just a situation we're in. But I think you can definitely take lots of positives from it going into next year. You know, we'll have to go down and rebuild, and you know, this club's got a lot of promotions under its belt, so please God we'll be able to get the club back up.
From a personal perspective, how's it been? Obviously, you came back at Orient after time on the sidelines with injury. That must have been a real frustration when it looked like you were hitting your stride.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's probably the toughest. I've had a lot of injuries, and I'd say that was one of the toughest, all for different reasons, but just the fact that it was tough to watch when you just know you can't have any impact on it, and how much of a crucial part of the season it was. And especially, like you said, after kind of hitting the ground running, coming in and playing at this level. And yeah, just to get that little setback and having to watch it and just being itching to be able to go out and play and not being able to do anything was very tough, especially with the situation the club was in. So yeah, it was nice to get back out for the 20 minutes, but look, it was a bittersweet really in the end. We get relegated, and yeah, we're just, like I said, we just have to regroup, go again, take all the positives and go again next year.
When you're recovering from injury, how important is it that you are ready for a full pre-season going into next season, if you see what I mean? You know, get minutes under your belt, get yourself back as fit and healthy as you can be before this season's over.
Yeah, no, definitely something that was definitely playing on my mind. I wouldn't want to have been injured and carrying niggles throughout the off-season. I've done that before, and it just doesn't set you in good stead for the season to come. I think, to be fair, like the staff here were very good at me. They weren't trying to rush me back. They were trying to get me back as quick as possible, but nothing silly, you know, where some managers can say this and some clubs would want to do that. But I think they were very patient with me and the injury, so that's a credit to them. And like I said, I think the over like long-term health of yourself is most important. And when you, like the club did think long-term with myself about coming back next year in for pre-season and onwards to hit the ground running and, you know, like I've said, get the club back up where it belongs.
Just as far as next season is concerned, obviously the planning is well in progress. The manager has said he's going to make those final decisions after this last game at the weekend, and he's already looking at targets and squad for next season. Yeah. How determined is everyone in your changing room, Ronan, to almost put a few rights wrong next season and try and get yourselves back into League One?
Yeah, no, massively determined. I think if you see the characters we have in the dressing room, you'll get an understanding of it. I think, you know, they had a couple of managers before that didn't really work out, and I think things happen. And I think when the staff came in, like I've said now, the changes that they made, and you saw the reaction from all the players and the performances, it was huge. So I think, yeah, just building on for next year is just going to be massively important when you keep the core of the group together, and we add a few more. I'm sure the gaffer and that will want to bring in some. And yeah, like I said, hopefully it's a hugely successful season for us next year.
And there's one more game to go, and it is still a significant one for the relegation picture, yeah. Given that you're playing Burton and given that Cheltenham could still stay up. There's no question that any professional would ever, you know, not be bothered about the final game of the season, but the league picture is important for everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Look, like you said, everyone's professional, and we've got a job to do on Saturday, regardless of the position that we're in. We want to win. It's the last game in front of our fans, the fans that have been there throughout everything this year and backed us and followed us away from home, regardless of the situation we're in, regardless of how we played. So look, we owe it to them and we owe it to ourselves to go out on a high at least. So yeah, like you said, there'll be none of that. It'll be a fully professional job, and we'll be going for 3 points.